All right, Art, should we talk about some movies coming out in September?
Let's break it down, bro, because we've been hyping these boys up for a minute. We forgot their names the last time we were streaming.
Yep.
And they're barely here.
The Runarounds, they're finally arriving. I for sure thought this show already came out, but yeah, back when we were at South by Southwest, we were lucky enough to be presented the live band of the Runarounds. We had no idea what their name was, but we heard they have a show coming out on Amazon. It is here on September 1st.
Yeah, we got to see them in concert before they became a band. The band was decent. There was one jingle we liked.
Yeah. So maybe we'll like the show. I'll check it out.
Seems to be a band playing themselves, so Naked Brothers Band or something like that. But
and it's sort of about the band, the show. Yeah. Good intriguing premise. I feel like like you said, it's been a while since we got them. Disney had a bunch of them for a bit, but we're due for one of these fictional band, real band kind of shows.
Should be good.
Also on September 1st, PBS is debuting a documentary called Driver, which I've talked about previously on Intercut. It was one of my standouts from last year's Tribeca, maybe 2 Tribecas ago.
Tell me, I didn't catch this one.
Well, it's one of these interesting documentaries that's kind of like, I've been calling it a vocational documentary, a movie that just sort of dives into what it's like to live in this profession. And specifically, they're looking at female truck drivers and the obstacles that they face, not just in the difficulties of a truck driving job, but the things that get overlooked because they're women and their attempts to sort of organize together and perhaps unionize. It's a really interesting documentary, just this overworked class of job. September 3rd, we're getting Wednesday season 2 part 2 because Netflix is slowly trying to convince themselves that binge drops are not the worst. Yeah, it's not episodic. It's just part 2.
Yeah, it's just part 2.
Yeah. We're also getting Beavis and Butthead season 11. You know, this is the 3rd season of Beavis and Butthead since it returned to Comedy Central. I completely missed that.
I feel like, when Paramount Plus started, they tried pushing them. Like, oh, we're still here. And it didn't do it. So it is kind of funny that they're bringing it back right when What's-Some-Faces just came back, King of the Hill. And I think they did it more successfully. King of the Hill returned for a 14th season on Hulu with 8 episodes. I actually caught the new season of King of the Hill, and I really loved it. Yeah, and I would say of all these properties that try to do the time jump, it is one of the most successful at it because they've managed to modernize the characters while still really maintaining the feel of the show. Even the fact that they aged Bobby up from a preteen into an adult who runs a restaurant, and he still kind of has the same characteristics while not feeling like a child. I don't know. Wait, is it still what's her name?
Pamela Adlon. Yeah, it's still Pamela Adlon voicing the character. Yeah,
I'm gonna check that one out first before the new Beavis and Butthead. But were you a Beavis and Butthead?
I was never a big Beavis and Butthead guy. Was more of a King of the Hill guy in terms of Mike Judge animated shows. On September 4th, the Toronto International Film Festival starts, so be sure to keep up with Amanda and I as we log on Letterboxd and Twitter. Jason Merjani, some other friends of the show will be there. Also, The Paper debuts on Peacock. It was originally going to be 4 episodes, but now Peacock is just binge releasing the whole season. Don't think that's a big sign of confidence.
No, that's bad.
Yeah. But also on September 4th, the NFL season kicks off. We were talking about this a little...
17 games in one day, bro. This is ridiculous. The binge model needs to stop.
I don't like it. Who you got this season? I know we were talking about it before we started the stream.
So it's got to be it, bro. I'm loyal. The Bears. This is it. We went through all the ups and downs. It's time for us to return over there. We got a pretty big hill to climb. But I'm liking it. It's looking like it's going to be good. Our coaching and our quarterback's got a good light ahead of him. I think it'll be good.
Yeah. I mean, y'all had like one of the worst records in the league last year, right? So it's only up from there.
Yeah, it can only go up from there. You know what I'm saying?
On the weekend of September 5th, we are getting The Conjuring: Last Rites, Highest to Lowest, the new Spike Lee movie. Hamilton, an American musical, finally makes the jump from Disney Plus to the big screen.
With deleted scenes?
Ooh, with deleted scenes. And in limited theaters, The Theesome, Twinless, and The Baltimorons. It's a pretty stacked weekend
right there. Yeah.
Of those movies. Had you not seen any of them, what do you think your first choice would have been?
Ooh, out of all of these right here, probably Highest to Lowest because of Spike Lee, and I still haven't seen it. But out of the ones that I have seen, I mean, that's pretty stacked. I think Hamilton in the theater is going to be decent, but we loved the Threesome, Twinless, and Baltimorons was an actual surprise hit for me. So you really cannot go wrong with any of those, in my opinion. That's a very good week.
Yeah, if I hadn't seen them, I probably would have gone highest to lowest like you. I'm always happy to see some more Spike. But having seen them, The Baltimorons is just a really, really lovely movie.
The poster?
Funny and heartbreaking. Yeah, I love that poster.
Knocked it out of the park. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm definitely intrigued to see this one again, even though I think I would watch Threesome and Twinless again. Both very funny movies. A lot of stuff to laugh at September 5th.
Yeah. And both the trailers, great trailers. They get right at the edge of maybe being a little too much. They're telling you too much, but I think they get you hooked on the movie. So definitely catch those if you can.
The Walking Dead, Daryl, Dixon season 3 starts on September 7th. I can't believe they're still making Walking Dead.
He's still walking.
Only Murders returns for a 5th season on September 9th. I will still tune in, even if I thought the 4th season was maybe a little bit weaker.
What's the push for this season?
I actually haven't seen any of the trailers. I don't know what the unique hook is
Who's
this
the
year.
actor? Who's the AI?
Yeah. They're always bringing in big guest stars, so I'm sure there's some new faces on this season of the show. It feels like half of Hollywood works for the show now.
They swap her out for Demi Lovato yet?
Not yet. We'll see. On September the 10th, The Girlfriend hits Prime Video. It's a series directed by Robin Wright and also starring her. And AKA Charlie Sheen, the documentary, hits Netflix. And then on September 12th, we get The Long Walk in theaters, Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues in theaters, Downtown Abbey, the grand finale. Then in limited theaters, we have Rabbit Trap, The History of Sound, and the Sundance film, Sunfish and Other Stories on Green Lake. What is the movie you're most excited to see on September 12th?
That Spinal Tap 2 trailer came on while I was at the theater. I thought it was pretty funny. I'm very excited to see and show Alina the first one on that one. But I just literally just came in. The Long Walk, Stephen King's novel that wasn't even him. I realized like Stephen King had a couple where he wrote as Richard Bachman. Turns out Running Man, which is also being remade again. With
Glenn Powell. Edgar Wright is ranking it, yeah.
The boys are working on that, so I'm going on a whole Stephen King binge. I think he's one of the best writers we got out here. And I'm just excited for The Long Walk. I think it's going to be a hit. I think we have a lot of horror movies that are coming out during a period in time where people are worried. The theater people came out themselves and said, Avatar's just 4 months away, guys. Please watch other stuff. Come on, have some respect. We got some good movies coming out.
Yeah. I mean, The Long Walk, I've heard great things about the book, so I'm intrigued by that one. I didn't get to catch Rabbit Trap at Sundance. Y'all gave me kind of a mixed response to it. The History of Sound stars a couple actors I like quite a bit, Paul Mescal and Josh O'Connor, but that also got not great reviews at Cannes.
Really?
Yeah. I was mixed on Sunfish at Sundance. I guess it's Downton Abbey. No, I'm probably most intrigued to see The Long Walk, if all that is considered. The Emmy Awards are on September 14th. You covering those on LME? I think you usually do an Emmys wrap up on LME.
I've been, for whatever reason, I've never missed Emmys, but I've missed the Oscars. I don't know, Zach. I don't know. I'm rooting for the studio. Studio really picked up a lot of them, dude. So it'll be very interesting to see how that comes in, because this might be the first year that we really start seeing the bear fall off. You know, it got surprise takeaways with Hacks getting some and stuff, but we haven't gone in Emmys without the bear really making a splash. Studio looks strong. Looks very strong, dude.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if the studio swept a bunch of awards. On September 17th, we're getting Gen V back for season 2.
We'll see how they do it. Wow.
And September 18th, we're getting a new show with Jason Bateman and Jude Law called Black Rabbit hitting Netflix. Yeah. And then on September 19th, Him hits theaters. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey hits theaters. A bit surprised that one's not hitting any of the film festivals. Plainclothes, which we saw at Sundance, will be in limited release, as well as Steve, a new movie with Cillian Murphy. Swiped hits limited theaters, and Adulthood, which will be at TIFF, will be available in a more limited capacity on September 19th. What will you be watching at home or in theaters that weekend?
Dude, so Adulthood is Alex Winter?
Yeah, directed by Alex Winter. You got Josh Gad in the cast as well. Anthony Carrigan, my guy.
Interesting. All right, that looks pretty good right there. But no, out of the other ones that are here, I'm curious on Steve because the director previously worked with Killian on that other TIFF movie, Small Things Like These. But I haven't caught that one either. But they both look like they're going to be pretty decent movies. Plainclothes, we gave a massive thumbs up for. Or at least I did. I had it in my top coming out of Sundance, and we were worried it was going to leak.
That movie. Yeah,
it leaked just a lot later. Yeah, the style of it is very, very good for what it's telling. I am going to go him, bro. I want this to be the one, bro. We have gotten back-to-back
produced
horrors
by Jordan
this
Peele.
year. It is the year of horror, and I think Jordan Peele is sprinkling his goodness in there. Whatever the director, let me make sure I pull up their name because it is their project.
Justin Tipping, I believe.
What a name!
Yeah,
I've not seen the other stuff, but they did Joe and Carol. Okay, interesting. Interesting. We'll see what they do with that, but him, I'm very excited for. I just feel like a fool that A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, which I've seen the trailer of so many times, I never realized who was directing it.
Our guy, Kogonada.
What the hell,
after
bro?
Yang and Columbus, it's hard to pick anything over a Kogonada movie.
That's going to be a good week. I didn't even realize it was him, bro. But
yeah.
I think him's going to be the standout.
Yeah. Then on September 21st, we get a new season of Tulsa King. You watched Tulsa King, right?
Hell yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. Nice. On September 24th, a new season of Slow Horses hits Apple TV. That's like season 5 or 6.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things on that. Yeah,
that's a show I've been meaning to binge for a long time. And then the last weekend of the month, one battle after another, a new Paul Thomas Anderson movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio hits theaters. We also get The Strangers Chapter 2, which I know that's the movie you're going to be seeing.
No. Gabby's Dollhouse.
Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie. I have no idea what that is.
That's where I'm going to be at, okay?
Eleanor the Great, the new Scarlett Johansson movie, and All of You, which is a movie that I caught at TIFF last year. I saw Eleanor the Great actually last night. It's a movie that played Khan and will be at TIFF later this month, or actually next month. It is a movie that stars June Squibb as a 94-year-old woman who, after her roommate in her assisted living facility dies, she moves in with her daughter and then ends up in a situation where she's uses her dead roommate's story about being a Holocaust survivor as her own. It's sort of like what was that Zoe Dutch movie where she pretended she was in the bombing? I'm okay, or I'm not okay,
I'm okay,
or something like
something
that.
Like that.
Yeah. A little bit of that.
There's also Misha and the Wolves. Was a documentary about a woman who did that.
Yes, that's a great poll. It's also like a little Dear Evan Hansen adjacent.
That's what I heard, bro. How is it though?
I mean, I don't think it ever really sells its premise. It just never really feels like she's making this decision for a logical reason. Like it's basically she's lonely, so she decides to do this. But I don't know. I've never been so lonely. I've pretended I was a Holocaust survivor. It's just a little bit weird.
Consider yourself lucky, Zach.
I think it's just ultimately the tone is a little too treacly for this kind of story. Like it's trying to be a very sweet, life-affirming movie about making connections, but it has this weird kind of unsavory element to it too. So I don't know. There were a couple lines that made me laugh, but I also think a lot of it was written with the idea of like what would be funny if an old woman said it, and not so much what's something funny that an old woman might actually say. I think there will be people who will like it. There were a lot of tears in the screening room when I saw it, but it ultimately didn't work for me. I think I'm going 2.5, maybe even 2 stars on the movie.
What'd you give JoJo?
I mean, JoJo, I think I have like a 1.5, so it's better than that.
ScarJo, bro. She just ain't got it. She got to stay away from it.
She's got to stay away from the Holocaust. I just don't think it's her bag. And All of You. So this one I caught at TIFF last year. It stars Imogen Poots and Brett Goldstein as longtime friends who sort of play around with their romantic feelings for each other. Like it goes back and forth a lot about who's a little more into the other one, and they never can quite be on the same page. It's got this sort of sci-fi Black Mirror-ish element in that they live in a world in which you can get a test done to find out who your soulmate is. It reminded me of Fingernails in that way, although I think I like this one a little more than Fingernails.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yet, like, it just sort of feels like there's not a whole lot beyond that initial premise. It sort of stays in a it kind of feels static. It stays in the same place for a bit too long, and there's just not enough going on beyond the central tension of will they, won't they, to sustain a full movie. I feel like it probably would have been an okay episode of Black Mirror at around 60 minutes, but when you're asking for a full, hour and a half plus, it just doesn't sustain interest, even if I found both Imogen Poots and Brett Goldstein to be pretty charming.
Interesting. I'll wait for it at home. Yeah. What you do need to go out to the theaters for Gabby's Dollhouse, though, because I don't think you saw who the villain is. It's Kristen Wiig.
Not.
It's Kristen Wiig fully hamming it up. In a YouTuber? I think she's a freaking YouTuber or like a kid's channel that has now fully made the jump for a movie. I love that they're cartoonizing her because she knows I'm going to get too old, so I need to get it in these kids' heads. I'm a cartoon.
It almost feels like when she did a Lifetime movie. It's like, why are you in this project? But
yeah.
She
looks funny in it because I keep putting. Yeah. I saw the trailer played during sketch, so you know what the demographic is.
Right. And
she's going all out in it, so I'll give her that. But for whoever that's for, I guess that's out there, bro.
Yeah,
we are getting a new. Caught stealing is.
Darren Aronofsky. Yeah.
And then a month later, we're getting your boy PTA. And then I know we're getting some meat in October and some steak in November. Yeah. Come on. The movies aren't dying during this time, bro.
No, we're about to get a real run of exciting stuff, but nothing in September excites me quite as much as one battle after another. I mean, anytime we're getting a new Paul Thomas Anderson movie, but this one does look like it might be pretty special.
It's got to be, bro.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
And then the whole month wraps up on September 30th with the Hulu release of Chad Powers, Glenn Powell's upcoming TV show. That looks pretty funny.
It's funny. We'll see. It's like a passion project for him too, right?
Yeah. He's been pursuing it for a bit. I think he's a co-writer on it. Let's give our picks for the month, the things that we think are most worth taking time out for in the next month. Art, what are your picks for the Inner Cuties?
We mentioned some of the stuff we're excited from what's upcoming, but there's some stuff in theaters that I know my co-host got to see. I barely got to see Relay, which I know played at TIFF last year for y'all.
Yeah.
And what a thriller. Like, I think Black Bag is still number one for me above this one, but this is in that realm. If you like something like Black Bag, this is just as talky, but even a little bit more action. I don't know how exactly you would classify it other than he's this dude who pretty much relays information to be able to get people out of a scenario where they're trying to be a whistleblower and they're like, psych, never mind. And he's the guy who kind of negotiates it.
He's kind of like a corporate fixer. When you get into some espionage issues, he's there to smooth things over or fix the situation.
I liked it. I think even with I'll tell you later. I liked it. I picked up on it. I really enjoyed it. I think also David Mackenzie is just becoming a director where anything that he puts out, I think is going to be very solid. From Hell or High Water, which I think is it's still his best movie in my opinion. But even when he's gone to streaming, like with Outlaw King and the such.
Yeah. And just the whole talk to text thing is such a clever way to handle one of these kinds of movies.
Clean, bro. And Dev, or not Dev, I'm calling him Dev. What's his name? Riz. Always so good, bro. And I feel like at this point, there's got to be something in his personal life for why he always makes sure to shout out the deaf community to some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got to hear him talking about it more. But
an interesting through line in his movies. Yeah, maybe we need to look at some press for that. But yeah, Relay is a great pick.
Yeah, I'm also going Love Brooklyn, which will be right at the beginning, if I'm not mistaken, limited release. I know we were getting it over here in the music box. I think this is a beautiful movie just about relationships and the people who you have around you and what you decide to dedicate that time into. Or if you just want to complain all the time. And you could do that too and lose everyone around you. But it takes a really nice look at a place that we associate with getting gentrified and how you can apply that to people and what they do to themselves as well. Yeah. And just the idea that the script was written not with black actors in mind, but it was supposed to be like a whole white cast, and then they were able to flip it over. there's just beauty in that, in the relationships and how they adjust it for what these characters are going through in the places that they're going through, and also according to their jobs and what they've done for each other. Really good stuff. I know you were telling me about Roy Wood Jr. You know him from what's it called?
Daily Show.
The Daily Show.
Yeah.
These comedians can come in and really be the heart of these damn indie movies, bro.
Yeah.
I thought this one was special. So keep this on the radar. Love Brooklyn.
Yeah, an excellent indie for sure. Very thoughtful movie.
And then I'm wrapping it up with the specific screening that I was saying for you Chicago folks. Everybody catch Lurker, but if you're in Chicago, go to the Music Box Saturday showing. Gillian Flynn, author of some of the best books out there, including Gone Girl. It's going to be moderating the Q&A, and, well, I can't think of anyone better to ask questions about such a story than a Twisted author. So this was one of our favorites out of Sundance. Amanda had mentioned she's got a whole video, including a Q&A that's coming up that she was able to do with the cast and crew. But hey, give this one a watch. I believe eventually it'll end up on Mubi. So if you don't have a theater that's playing it, hopefully you will get it in a couple months, weeks.
Yeah.
However, but Lurker, Relay, love Brooklyn, and I got to just say him. I'm anticipating him the most.
I hear that. Yeah. All great picks, all ones that I either love or really, really want to catch. As far as my picks for the month, I'm going to start it off with a show that I realized I meant to put it on my best shows of the year so far, and I just forgot to, but I'll give it a shout out here. And I want to partially do that because it is a show that kind of made me think of you and Amanda. It is The Four Seasons, the latest Tina Fey, Robert Carlock show.
Netflix?
Which had... 8 episodes on Netflix. It is a show about 3 suburban couples who go on vacations together. So once per season, they go to a different locale. The show is similarly structured around that, where there's 2 episodes set in the spring, 2 episodes set in the summer, 2 episodes set in the fall, and finally 2 episodes set in the winter, which is kind of fun. They're sort of like they're kind of like first half and back halves of stories, so there's like cliffhanger and moves forward. I think the structure of it's really fun, but I think the thing that's ultimately really cool about this show is I think it's a really interesting exploration about a particular point in all of these couples' lives. They're all sort of around the idea of empty nesters. It's these couples that have been together for a while, where maybe some of the middle-aged ennui sets in. It's not about being, senior citizens or about being a new couple, but sort of what do you do when the structure of your life has changed and you have to sort of continue to redefine your relationship with your loved one. And in terms of that, in terms of how it feels lived in from the relationship perspective, I found it to be really smartly written, really thoughtful, relatable, and also just very fun and humorous the way that you expect from a Tina Fey show. It's got a great cast with Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, Steve Carell, Tina Fey, of course. I just found it to be a really pleasant hang. It's not quite as jokey as you're used to with like 30 Rock or Kimmy Schmidt, but I found it like pretty like thoughtful and heartfelt. And again, like just it sort of reminded me, like we always go on vacations together, just about having these friends who you travel with and who you grow together with, and the things that you relate about and the things that you feel different about. It's just a really lovely show.
I'm going to have to catch up on it. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
I guess right there in the poster. I'd seen an episode and a half when they were doing the vows. I'll catch up on it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what you thought. The number one show I'm curious about on Netflix, though, just came out today, the day we're recording. It is Long Story Short. This is the new Netflix show from our guy, Raphael Bob Waksberg, who created BoJack Horseman. This is a show about a dysfunctional family. Apparently, it sort of jumps back and forth through time, from when they're kids to when they're adults and back again, which sounds really compelling in and of itself. I think the art style is really intriguing. It is also designed by the same animator, Lisa Hanawalt, who was in charge of BoJack Horseman, but it's got a different sort of style in BoJack Horseman. None of the like anthropomorphized animals here. It just seems like it's got a nice mix of comedy and pathos, the way that I think you'd expect from the guy who did BoJack Horseman. And BoJack is one of my favorite shows of all time, so I absolutely need to see whatever this guy's got next. Yeah.
Finally.
Pretty solid reviews so far as well.
Good.
Yeah. Abby Jacobson is one of the voices in it. A couple other interesting actors. So long story short, on Netflix, one of the things I'm most excited about. And then my last pick for the month is going to be a movie that's in theaters on August 29th. A film that we liked quite a bit when it hit Tribeca a couple of years ago. Griffin in Summer, a story about a gay teenager who's an aspiring playwright who's really obsessed with the theater and trying to become the person he dreams of being, even though he's still a child. And basically the emotional development he experiences when he sort of falls for the local handyman. I think it's just a really sharp depiction of that period of adolescence when you feel like you're ready to be an adult, but you're still firmly a kid and you don't yet have the experience to know how to navigate the adult world. I found it really, really endearing. The kid at the center, Everett Blunk, is very, very good. You also have Melanie Linsky, Catherine Newton, and Owen Teague in the cast here. I thought it was really, really charming and delightful.
I like this one as well. I double feature this one with I Like Movies. I think those are very similar in the sense of young people trying to be a lot older, but also really having a strong passion for a very similar art style here. One being a playwright and the other one being movies. We were searching it up because of Wednesday. The kid from Wednesday who got canceled.
Yes.
He's in I Like Movies, and it...
Oh, yeah, that is him, isn't it?
Dude, it answered so much for us. We're like, how did this not hit? He plays the best friend. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I actually just caught I Like Movies for the first time this week, and it is such a delightful movie. I can't believe I waited so long for it. It spoke so much to me. Really incredible stuff.
Yeah, it's so good. Screw that movie.
Yeah. No, honestly.
It's one of those. You know what I'm talking about?
It's one of those movies where it's like, where were you when I was 17?
You're just going to have to find me. Oh, I'm such a good movie. You're going to have to stumble upon me. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Great movie. So one more recommendation there.
I see you got Project Hail Mary here. Tell me about this.
Project Hail Mary is the new project from Lord and Miller starring Ryan Gosling. I think it's going to be released next summer. And in preparation for it, I've been listening to the audiobook, and this is a really entertaining story. This is written by Andy Weir, who's the same guy who wrote The Martian, your beloved Matt Damon comedy. So it's got a similar kind of like problem solving, clever solutions thing going on. There's like all these sciencey things that he's got to overcome and find clever ways around it. It takes place in a world that's being threatened by this like alien fungus of sorts. So they send a mission out to a different galaxy to try and find an answer, and he meets an alien. And I don't know, I thought it's like really fun. It does have a little bit of the like, well, that just happened energy, but I think the writing is really sharp. And I can imagine Ryan Gosling making a meal out of some of the comedy in this. It's very kind of like Fall Guy style of Ryan Gosling comedy. But I would mostly say, like, if you are a person who enjoys an audiobook, I would absolutely recommend this one because the way it's narrated is really full of personality. There's a lot of excellent voice work in it, and it made me that much more excited for the movie. So I would highly recommend checking it out to get yourself more excited for the new Lord and Miller.
Sounds fair.
All right, so my recommendations for the month are Project Hail Mary, 4 seasons on Netflix, Long Story Short on Netflix, and Griffin in Summer, hopefully playing at a theater near you. But that's all for this month's monthly must-watch. Our show theme is Green Lightning by Cal Sendry. Thanks so much to them for letting us use it, and find more of their music at the link in our episode description. Thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, you're being manipulated.